Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today. It is now Thursday morning. It is May 20th, 2021. The man they call Meathead, along with Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm just glad you didn't confuse me with the king of meth.
No, but that would be my drug in 2021 to follow meth. It starts with the letter M as well. No, there was an ad for the Queen of Meth. Apparently, Matthew Thomas dropped a truth bomb on it, and the Queen of Meth is related to who?
None other than Tom Arnold. Not to give it away, it's not a huge spoiler. If you do decide to watch The Queen of Meth, you'll learn that within the first couple of minutes, probably even in the trailer.
Huh. Well, I mean, isn't that where meth is cooked? Thank you. I'll be here all week. Matthew Thomas.
I set you up for that, not like I would
you.
set you up for a drug bust or anything.
No. Matthew Thomas, who is sponsoring to this morning's program?
Let's see. It's not meth, right?
Nope.
It's Collar and Elbow
Council
brand.
of America backing us.
Collar and Elbow brand, ready for all of your clothing needs just in time for summer. And word on the street is it's going to be a Good Brother summer. And if you really want to make it a Good Brother summer, head over to Collar and Elbow brand and enter promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a lot of the great gear out there. I know Collar and Elbow just had a couple posts on Facebook. What I'm really digging is the fact that it says ladies love the Collar and Elbow. And it was our very own Linda Kay posing in her Collar and Elbow gear as well. So,
oh, outstanding.
The promo code gets 10% off. Get on over to collarandelbowbrand.com. Matthew, we have a ton of news. We got Dynamite to talk about from last night. We've got news from Dynamite. We've also got news about AEW and Dynamite itself. And a huge exodus out of NXT, WWE with some budget cuts. This is almost Black Monday Part 2, where WWE has cut loose a lot of talents out of AEW plus a referee. Lots of people, lots of shuffling around, lots of moving around here. Let's start with AEW, okay? The big news coming out of AEW is they will be moving. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and next week, Wednesday, they're affected by the NBA. We'll be getting moved over to Friday night, kind of going head-to-head with SmackDown, but not really, but they are. AEW will officially be moving to TBS, Turner Broadcasting. As Dusty Rhodes would say, we're going back to the mothership, daddy. They're going to be going to TBS starting in January of 2022, and they will be officially there with Dynamite. Now, will Dynamite stay the name? There's some ironic reasons for it being called Dynamite. Dynamite and TNT are kind of the same thing.
Dude, that never dawned on me. That never occurred to me until just now. My goodness, that's brilliant.
Right. Well, not anymore. It won't be if they stay Dynamite now, will it?
Oh, my goodness.
Secondly, the TNT Championship, will it change names?
I don't know, but to go back to what you just said, I guess you could say my mind has been blown.
There you go. And, Dynamite is somewhat of a reference back to Nitro.
Yeah, because it went kaboom, right?
Right. Speaking of, last night, to really jump ahead but come back, did you see who we saw on TV last night talking to the demo god, the Judas? Who was he talking to backstage?
A man who's got quite a few holes in his repertoire.
1,000 of them, to be exact. He said Jericho has 4 more and goes, I forgot a few of them. Oh, my God. That was an angle that happened specifically on Monday Nitro. And, literally cemented me as a Y2J fan, a Chris Jericho fan, a Jerichoholic, if you will. But, wow. Dean Malenko showing up on TV last night.
Yeah, no, it was good to see him. And, here's the thing. If you're going to TBS, why not just call it the Mothership?
Back to the Mothership, Daddy. Welcome to AEW Mothership. Hey, you never know. Hey, so let's talk this out here. AEW will be bringing a brand new show called AEW Rampage that'll premiere Friday night, August 13th at 10 p.m. Eastern. That will air in the weekly time slot on TNT until both Rampage and Dynamite move to the Mothership on TBS in 2022. While the two AEW TV shows are moving to TBS next year, TNT will still air AEW programming in the form of 4 supercard specials per year. Now, we'll have to talk to the accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe and see if these will qualify for draft points. We'll have to figure that out as well. Big news coming out of AEW that they will be moving Dynamite officially over to TBS starting in 2022. And to be honest, I feel that, it's one of those things where, way back in the day when Damien, Dave, myself, Linda, Frank, Cosentino at that point too, and even the Skull Crusher, Rashi Brown, when we were doing the ESPN radio show, we were supposed to have a time slot right after Raw went off the air. We were 10 o'clock Central on ESPN radio at that point. And it got real frustrating because we kept getting bumped for whatever live event was on before us. If it was high school girls basketball where they're not selling any ads on it, but we have to let it air because we promised somebody would let it air. And I can understand AEW getting frustrated and being knocked around because, TBS and TNT are going to be getting hockey. And I believe Wednesday night's hockey game of the week is going to be on TNT. So Turner Broadcasting will be getting the NHL. And Tony Khan and the rest probably said, you know what? We've had enough. We like our Wednesday night slot. We want to stay on Wednesday. Put us over on Turner Broadcasting and, TBS, maybe Ted Turner will come out and, yeah, whoa, Teddy, whoa. If you've seen Conan and Teddy and Teddy Jr. there. But, Matthew Thomas, thoughts on AEW and the big moves?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. You want something that you can stay on, with some regularity. And you made a really good point. And that's one big benefit of the USA Network, not having any other sports. And outside of a dog show here and there,
they were getting preempted for some stuff. There was they were getting preempted for the Tennis US Open. Besides the dog shows, there was also a couple as well that they used to get preempted for. They would get preempted for presidential stuff on occasion. Plus, they had been preempted for. I'm drawing a blank here now. But they have been preempted for silk stockings. Yes, that's exactly what it was. In 1986, they got preempted for silk stockings.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, staying there in the Turner family. And I think AEW is just kind of trying to look down the road and what, makes a ton of sense. Now, let me get some clarification because the press release, the wording was a little bit confusing to me. So that Friday 10 o'clock show, that is a separate 1 hour show at 10 o'clock, yes. Correct? Okay.
Yes.
Man, I'm looking forward to just having a 1 hour wrestling show. It's not outside of what NWA does with their stuff. It's really not done anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited to see, what they can consolidate into 1 hour on Friday nights. That's probably what my takeaway is.
I think the way it looks is Rampage will be there to prop up Dynamite. Dynamite's going to be the be all end all, just like Raw for the 30 years or whatever it was the number one show, was the A show. Now SmackDown is because it's on Fox, and that's why you have Michael Cole on there. He is the voice of WWE. It was announced in January of 2020 that AEW and Warner Media had extended the TV deal for Dynamite through 2023. I mean, they're in a good spot. All Elite Wrestling and, the Khan family and Turner Broadcast are in a very happy spot. They are making money for each other, right? They're providing content. And, just recently when they had the what was it? Oh my God, it's only been 2 weeks and I can't think of the name of it. Blood and Guts. When they had Blood and Guts, they were the number one cable show on TV that week. Yeah. So, I mean, they're doing very good business. Here's the thing. That deal that they signed in 2020 in January included another TV show, which is now going to be Rampage. They've got Paul White now doing announcing, and I guarantee you Paul White probably will show up on Rampage as the lead color, analyst. So,
and I'll tell you somebody that you don't have to worry about showing up on AEW that you just mentioned with his recent WWE Hall of Fame induction is William Shatner, because Khan, he wants nothing to do with Khan.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if he got there, the first thing he would do is grab the mic and go.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And then, we get all random different cons running out, including there are cons that are higher up in the hierarchy at WWE as well. So he's always looking for a con. Okay,
yes,
so big news out of AEW with Dynamite, with Rampage, with music as well. Let's talk about Jon Moxley when he came out to wrestle Yuji Nagata. What was the song he had? He had Wild Thing by the Trogs, the original version, right? Wild Thing. Well, as we heard last night, Moxley and Kingston came out again to Wild Thing, but it was a little bit different version. They are now, Tony Khan purchased a version of the song played by the group Major League. I said, when I read that, I said, oh, come on now. I mean, yes, Wild Thing got popular for the last 30 years because of the movie Major League. There's a band called Major League that performs a song called Wild Thing. That's a little corny, but here's a quote from Tony Khan. He did not know I had Wild Thing. I got the Major League version. It's cool and important. The Nagata match is something we'll always remember with Trogs, the classic version. It was perfect for that night. John didn't know it was coming, and the adrenaline coming in, he didn't think about it much. So apparently Tony Khan went out and got that song for him.
Yeah, I think, man, it's hard to go original and then go back from that. And I'm sure everybody will get used to it. And I'm sure what he's betting is that eventually you'll have the audience singing it. So it won't matter as much. But here's my impression of it last night was the match started and I had to go in the other room for something. So my eyes were off of the TV and I heard them introing Moxley. And the first thought was that, it must be back to his original theme. And the intro to this, a much different arrangement. I'm like, they must have dropped it. And then no, it kicks in, but it's a cover. And it definitely does not have the same pull that the original had last week. And I'm looking at it from an angle of, man, if this is what they were going to do, if this is what they had, if they did not have the original outside of a week, I wish this is what we got last week. And yeah, it was a great moment. It was important, but it's one of those deals where, you give it and then you take it away and you put it with it sounds like, if there's an artist or something that you're trying to find their stuff and due to copyright law, they're not on YouTube or they're not on Spotify and you've got the cover version of, the karaoke thing used to be in the style of, that's what this felt like.
Yeah.
And we'll get used to it, I'm sure, but my goodness, it just does not, it really feels like you're taking some step backwards after last week.
Tell you what, you made a great point in that little run that you had there, and I will let you know how it feels when we are live in the building for AEW Dynamite or wherever it's going to air on TV when it does come to the Milwaukee area at the Panther Arena. Because once it comes on, you're absolutely right. All we're going to be doing is singing it out loud and chanting it, and at that point, honestly, it won't matter. I am very picky and very nitpicky and anal retentive about my music and about my wrestling music. However, this one I will let slide.
All right. We will see. And you'll hopefully get to see and be able to give us that firsthand account in person soon.
Yep. AEW, I'd like to also take a shot at them and say, hey, if rankings and, wins and losses matter, you think that you would update your rankings on your own personal website. Hey, thanks, pal, for not updating that. So little shot there, if you will.
That's the thing. And we've seen so many companies treat rankings as the shiny new toy, i.e. TNA some years back. And it's like, you got to be consistent with it. And it can't be something that you bring up once in a blue moon when you want to make the case for this person is, the number one contender or this match matters. No, it's something you got to be consistent with it. You look at football, you look at college basketball. It's not here one day and gone the next. You gotta, even on a show where you feel like you've got your pay-per-view all set and you're the go home show, you still got to put your rankings up.
One more news bit before we talk about Dynamite from last night. WWE, the company itself, with a mass releasing of names again yesterday as well. I mean, I don't know if this would be petty if this is the case, right? But it's ironic that AEW had this major press release and WWE decides to release all these names.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem funny?
It's like, man, in politics, if you got something that's not a great story,
you're trying to take over the news cycle.
Yeah, sending it to press on, right before a weekend or going into a holiday weekend or something where, you hopefully it just kind of dies. And that's kind of what this reminds me of.
Biggest name to be released yesterday because he was on NXT on Tuesday night was it Desmond Wolfe from the Imperium Group? Did I
Yeah,
get the name right?
I believe so.
Hmm. They also released the referee that had some social media issues. There was something about a white power type deal way back in the day, and they officially released him yesterday. Matthew, your thoughts on any of the names that came out, and what are we going to
Yeah,
see from
it
them?
was almost exclusively NXT talent, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, too. I mean, did WWE.com give we'd like to wish them their best in their future endeavors? With NXT talents, did they not care?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just hopefully they've kind of learned if they got to get gear back to anybody. Hopefully they've kind of learned from the last misgivings they've had with Mickey James and whatnot. Hopefully that
That there's no
there's
more trash bags.
none of those issues. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, I just find it weird that because it's NXT, you don't get the
Yeah.
future endeavor article on the WWE.com website.
Yeah. Yeah. That must be the way they kind of go about it.
One more thing, the 50 Greatest Tag Teams limited series event premiering June 2nd on the Peacock Network. WWE will have the countdown to the 50 greatest tag teams in WWE history.
Interesting. Prior to that, we should probably pool our collective minds together and see how close to that top 5 list we can get.
Well, I mean, one of the teams on the team Nelson Mandela. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it.
I had to stammer over it, but RK Bro's got to be top 50 already, right?
I would certainly hope so. They haven't been around long, and I don't know if the official paperwork has actually been notarized as of yet, but they got to be working really close.
I know a notary. He's only got a Venezuelan notary license, but I know a notary that can do that.
It still counts in some parts of the world.
Or otherwise, Ruxin knows a canotary.
Yeah. I mean, I think between those two, man, we'll be in good shape.
All right, let's talk about Dynamite from last night. And we're going to run through it. We're not going to go match by match, but we're going to kind of run through it here. It did open up with Christian Cage and Matt Sydal. And to be honest, I thought this was a great match. And Christian Cage, outwork everybody, is still undefeated in AEW.
Yeah, he didn't take a lunch break, no smoke breaks. He didn't screw
he didn't
with
pack
his
a
phone.
lunch like I used to say.
Yeah, exactly. Not screwing with his phone or goofing off, during the course of the match. So exactly what you'd expect. But no, it's still really cool to see Christian Cage open up an AEW show.
Hey, the after match shenanigans had 3 of the 4 in there, Matthew Thomas. It didn't have Ethan Page, but it had Christian Cage, Brian Cage, and Adam Page. We are almost there.
Yeah, I do want to nitpick here a little bit. Hangman put him very reminiscent of the Hangman we had pre-COVID. He didn't drink out of anybody's cup or anything in the audience, but he did bring his drink to the ring and ask Ethan Page to hold
Ricky
it.
Starks. He literally just handed it to him.
Yeah, to Ricky Starks. Yeah, not Ethan Page. But my little concern here is you basically had Page in a situation there where it was more or less 3-on-1. Where's Dark Order at, man?
They came out at the end.
Not of that segment. They came out
on the Moxley Kingston
segment. Yeah, but they didn't. They came out during Sting.
Maybe
to help
they weren't
Sting
at the
Darby.
building yet.
Maybe so. Yeah, I guess.
Let's talk about
that's...
the next segment real quick here. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. Max Caster said that talk to your wife because she's trying to reach at me for some oral sessions.
Yeah, that's
boy.
That's the name of her podcast. It's a
podcast.
I
understand it's the name of her podcast, but it's what Andre Nozick would call a double entendre.
Yeah. That's very true. But yeah, just she's kind of in the same line of work that we are.
That was a low blow, pun intended there. Wow.
Interestingly enough, though, during when Kingston was attacking one of the members of the tag team, did you hear him, mentioning Renee's name? He mentioned Renee pretty loud, so that the mic picked it up, which I thought was an interesting tidbit, because not mentioned by name typically, I don't think, on air, but I guess in ring she was.
Who knows? Shivani interviewed Ethan Page. There's the fourth member, and Scorpio Sky in the ring, and they're setting up their program with Sting and Darby Allin.
It just dawned on me when you mentioned that there's got to be some crossover between Sting and Scorpio Sky and Scorpion Deathlock and Scorpion this, that, and the other. We got to get some freaking.
You know who they get played into in the ring by? They play the Hurricane theme. Here I am, Rocky like a Hurricane Pie.
Yeah, and then we have a Mortal Kombat crossover, and at some point during the match, Sting or somebody takes some type of apparatus and yells, "Get over here!"
Only if the match is aired exclusively on HBO Max. All right.
Yes, and it's converted to a strap match. He takes the strap and says, "Get over here."
All right, my jerk-off friend in the Pinnacle were eating steak at a 5-star restaurant. So nobody liked the onion loaf. I mean, seriously, nobody broke bread at all. Everybody was eating and drinking. Nobody touched that onion loaf.
Dude, I'd have been all over top of that thing.
Great promo by MJF, my jerk-off friend. He was absolutely fantastic. Sean Spears going after the waiter for not filling his glass first, apparently, so he felt slighted. But, he was drinking a red, so what's the difference? If he would have had a white, maybe it would have been different.
And seeing MJF at the head of the table and cutting this excellent promo, what really dawned on me last night is, in another decade, in 10 years, this dude will be in his mid-30s.
In another decade.
In 10 years from now.
Right. Yep. Hey, Rebel has got a match. She carries the crutch now in her hand, and still feigns being injured, but she's got Britt Baker DMD with her, taking on the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida. Shida and Britt Baker DMD will have a match at Double or Nothing this Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I was glad to see her in ring. I don't really feel like she's been utilized outside of, managing Britt Baker. Good to see her work in ring. I think it's time to get rid of the crutch. I mean, I get it with,
it's
Cowboy Bob.
So she's going to keep it for a while.
Yeah, but go ahead, get rid of that, and let's see her work fairly consistently.
Okay, here comes the demo god, Chris Jericho, in Inner Circle. I still have a beef with this. Jericho should have been off TV for a while. Yeah. And literally, dude showed up the next week, and he's here again, and he's going to have a match at Double or Nothing. But the Inner Circle, long story short, agree to take on the Pineapple, the Pinnacle, at the Stadium Stampede, and they say that their partner that's in prison, not in prison, but in jail right now, will make it. So, everybody will be there. It'll be a 5-on-5 match.
Yeah, way too quick for Jericho. And, if you were going to have it at the pay-per-view, do something, still put him over, but don't.
I hope Santana Ortiz still wear that the dead president's face paint.
That's a pretty good look for him, and a really good promo by Jericho. And I like what they're doing with the Inner Circle. Yeah, they are the faces by circumstance, but it's not like one day they turned them 180 degrees, and what the edginess that you enjoyed with the Inner Circle is not there. It's still there. They're the baby faces because they've been wronged by MJF and his cronies. So they're doing a really good job of really still, sticking to the Inner Circle formula, but, positioning them as the baby faces in this.
Hey, Tony Schiavone is interviewing Jade Cargill in the background. And do you remember Mark Sterling, Esquire?
Yes, I do.
And who did he work for prior?
That was MJF's lawyer, right?
Yeah, now he's a manager, apparently. So now he's in the managing business. Maybe he's like an agent, where Ruxin was a lawyer, then became an agent. So Mark Sterling, Esquire, looking to take care of Jade Cargill.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a good job. They're giving, it's not long, it's a minute or two each week, but we're seeing Jade on TV each week. I think she is a star, and not necessarily needing to see her wrestle each week in a squash match or anything, but just keeping her in the picture.
Mm-hmm. Speaking about somebody that needs to stay in the picture, Red Velvet, but a returning NWA Women's World Champion, Serena Deeb, is back.
Yeah.
It was mentioned at the beginning of the match, the reason Deeb was gone, she had to have surgery, and she is back and recovered from surgery.
And a bit more aggressive, Serena
Yeah,
Deeb.
bell rang and she went off.
Bit more aggressive. I thought this was the match of the night. I really liked the closing sequence there with her submission, and just that whole sequence of where she got it on, Red Velvet broke out, she got it on, she broke out, she got it on. That was the match. But it was a really good closing sequence. I think I finally figured out why Red Velvet claims to be in my mother's kitchen, though. Yeah, it kind of like the whole TNT thing. It didn't dawn on me. I'm like, what's she talking about? My mother? Oh, it's like, Red Velvet, the dessert. That's why she does the thing with her hand. Which I don't think is needed.
It's better than Alana Miles, Black Velvet, and A Little Boy Smile. Do you remember that song?
Yes. That would be a good little crossover right there. Yeah, I wonder if she's into the wrestling thing.
Maybe. Who knows? Anthony Ogogo with the Factory, QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, and Nick Camarado taking on Austin Gunn with Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson. And Anthony Ogogo was made to look like a monster, as he should be. He said he had heavyweight hands and middleweight speed. And basically, this match was stopped because the blood that was all over the place came from Austin Gunn.
Yeah, have a problem with this though, because in profession, and I've never liked striking movements that they try to get over. I'm not a fan of super kicks. So
you won't be invited to the party either?
I know, and I have no interest in going to a super kick party. I'm even less of a fan of closed fist strikes, because technically if I'm watching professional wrestling, I'm supposed to think that that's illegal. And if there's a referee in the ring and he sees a closed fist, he is supposed to say, hey, open up that. Yeah, reprimand him. Open up that fist. Say, hey, you do that again. Yeah, I get it. The referee wants the match to continue. You can let it slide. But when we have somebody repetitively, hitting him 3 times with a fist, I'm looking at this match. I'm looking at the finish.
I think the rules have changed. I mean, let's be honest. And do they check for chokeholds anymore? No.
In my wrestling, I like to live in a world where closed fists are disallowed. So I'm just going to pretend that
Let me guess, you're not supposed to go to the top rope either and can't do a pile driver?
Yes, you throw somebody over the top rope, you get disqualified. All right. You know what? That's a really good point, man. When they go over to the top, I need to see a ref trying to stop it and giving him a 5 count. If you can't climb that turnbuckle and be off by a count of 5, then that match needs to go out the window. So I'm just going to assume that Austin Gunn won as a result of a disqualification.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Miro cut a promo, and he's going to be having a match with Lance Archer for the TNT Championship. I liked Miro. I liked it a lot. And I liked Archer talking, actually, too. But I don't like and Miro pointed it out, and now I really don't like it because now it's even more, makes me more aware of it. You bring the old man up to try to stop you all the time.
Yeah. No, Miro was great. Like I said, we've got pretty much peak level Rusev here. And they've done a
Lance
really
Archer's
good
lineup. You haven't been relevant since you were trying to have your day. That was not bad.
Yeah, really good. Really good Miro here. I mean, the Archer thing seems like it's come really quick. I mean, you didn't even get Miro finished. You didn't get to have that sink in until we ran Archer out last week. I'm interested in this match, but my concern is, I mean, it's most likely going to be Miro going over Archer, which is fine. But I think Archer and Miro kind of need to work on different paths before they converge, because I think this could be a big money match, but I think it's rushed.
Okay. Let's rush our way because we've already gone over again, as we usually do. Let's rush our way through this main event. It was the Young Bucks and the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., Matt and Nick Jackson with Don Callis. No Good Brothers this week. The winners of the match, the Young Bucks, but sneaking into the ring and just kind of standing there, Kingston and Moxley literally snatched the shoes off the Young Bucks, like Kingston used to do back in the day.
Yeah, no, this is good. This is the most I've enjoyed Moxley in AEW, because he just seems to gel really well with Kingston, and they seem to work really well off of each other. It's not. There's Moxley. He's this crazy guy. Well, why is he crazy? Why is he doing that? What's going on with him? He and Kingston just seem to have a really good rapport with each other, and I'm thoroughly enjoying them as a tag team.
Next week, it will not be on Wednesday. It'll be on Friday, May 28th at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Again, going head-to-head, but not going head-to-head with SmackDown. Dynamite next week, Friday, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And that is the go-home for Double or Nothing, which will happen Sunday, May 30th. Matthew Thomas, that's a lot of stuff. We didn't even get to everything I had lined up for news. We got more that'll come tomorrow.
Next week, it's on TNT, and it's still called Dynamite. It's not called Rampage yet, right?
It's right, exactly. Check your local listings.
Yes, indeed.
I used to love the little commercial ads in the TV guide where, hey, coming up this week, Barney Miller goes nutty. All right. Followed by Mark for Mark. All right. So for Matthew Thomas on the Man They Call Media, we'll talk to you tomorrow. So long, everyone.